Hey Bookworms, welcome back to my channel and welcome to our once a month where we come together to talk about what I read that month. So today we're going to be talking about my June wrap up. In June I read 17 books, which is a good amount. I feel like I read like 6-ish romances,
1, 2, 3, 4
fantasies, and then
1, 2
thriller-esques, and then one memoir, and then these two books which I don't really know what to categorize them as. They're like fiction, I guess. So there's that. So those are all the books I read, and we're starting strong with Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This book was so good. Like every time that I read Annabelle Monaghan's books, I can always expect them to be high class and amazing. Like the writing doesn't have to be super cool or anything like that. She just knows how to reach that inner part of me that wants to cry and makes it cry. Like, I don't know how she does it, but I think there needs to be a study, because how is it that every single time that I've read her book, like, well, pretty much this book and Nora Goes Off Script, I sob because of it. Like, I don't know how. And this one obviously is a 5-star. I read it in one day. I slept it up. It was just a quick read, but it was so much more than a quick read. It was such a good book. Like, I always think about it because the storyline, the plot, it wasn't just a normal romance where these two meet, they maybe hate each other or they like each other right at the start. No, but she was able to make this story into something so much more. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved every single part of it. This is a true 5-star read, one that I haven't had in a very long time, so this was long overdue, and I'm really happy about it. Next, I read Rock, Paper, Scissors. I decided to finally get into the super popular book that I've been seeing all over the internet for years. Like, I'm not exaggerating, years. And this one was really, really good. I loved the plot. I loved how we saw, like, past tense things, some present, some letters, and everything just slowly connected and unraveled throughout the story, but you didn't notice it until the very end. Like, I did not guess what would happen, but also I stopped trying to guess because I knew that I probably wouldn't be able to guess it. But this story was just perfect, how she was able to unravel it, and I love the writing, and there's like so many quotes from this book that I just love that just expressed so much of the plot. So this is one of my favorite books. This is a 4.75. It's really close to being a 5, but I just felt like there was, like, it just didn't fully make it, but it was really, really good, and I totally recommend it. If you guys still haven't read any of the books by Alice Feeney, I recommend you start with this. This is an amazing book that deserves all the hype that it gets. Okay guys, next up we have The Atlas 6. This book has been on my TBR for the longest time because I see people like enjoying it, but then they're like, yeah, but I didn't see the point to the second book, or like, I just didn't feel like continuing it, and I'm just like, it kind of scared me a bit, and also I was just like, it feels so sophisticated. I'm like, should I be reading this? Like me with sometimes my silly romances or random fantasy, should I be reading this? Because it felt like something holy, and I finally decided to read it. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really, really good book. Like, I was hella surprised about how much I loved it, because I thought that it does have more sophisticated writing, and there are some words where I'm just like, where the heck did you find this one? Like, I didn't know this was in the vocabulary of English, and I was just like, okay. And so that's why I was like kind of scared, but honestly it's a really good book. I love the plot, I love the storyline, I like the world, I like how she built it. Was really good, and I didn't feel any plot holes, but also I never see plot holes when they say, like, when people talk, like, on the internet, they're like, yeah, there's so many plot holes in this book, and I'm just, like, there, like, I didn't see it. But that's fine. But this book just had so much to it, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, but there was just something that just, like, I didn't fully connect with it, but it was a really, really good book. Next, I read King's Cage. I don't think, guys, the Red Queen series is for me. No. Like, it could be, for many people, one of their favorite series and stuff like that, but I don't know why, but since the second book, after I read the second one, I just kind of stopped liking it. Like, the second one was the bad one. I don't know if that's why everything is influenced by it, and that's why I'm just not enjoying any of the other books. Like, I did enjoy the second, I did enjoy the third, I don't know, guys, but anyways, I don't think it's really my cup of tea. I gave it 3.25 stars. I just was bored during the story. I didn't feel connected to any of the characters at all. I will try to finish the series, but there's no guarantee that I'll like it. But there is, I think, only like 1 book left, or 2. Yeah, there's 1 full book and then 1 like 0.5 books. So we're at the finish line. So I'm gonna try to finish it, obviously, in the next month or 2. So then I'll be done with it, and that'll make me much happier. Next we have His and Hers, another Alice Feeney book. because after I read Rock, Paper, Scissors, I was like, I want another book by her. And I was just like, what other one should I do except for just His and Hers? And His and Hers just really captured me because I read like the review and stuff like that, and like looked at the description and stuff like that, and it just really captured my attention. And so I read it, and it was really good too. Like there was also a lot of these, like they were everywhere, these quotes that just were perfect. They just captured so many things, and I really loved everything that was in this story. It was hella amazing. I gave it 4.25 stars though because it wasn't as good as Rock, Paper, Scissors. I just felt Rock, Paper, Scissors just was better even. But I really enjoyed the story, and I was at the edge of my seat the whole time. I did read in like a day and a half-ish, I think, and it was really, really good. I totally recommend that everybody reads it at some point in their life because it's amazing. Next we have Heat of the Everflame. I forgot to put that I finished it and how much I rated it, but I think I remember kind of, so it was like, yeah, it was like a 4-star, 4.25 stars. It was a really good book, Heat of the Everflame. Like, I really enjoyed it, and as you can see, I also forgot to rate it and say that I finished it on at least Notion. But this book was really, really good. I really enjoyed this plot. I enjoyed every single part of it. It was really good, and I did cry because I'm weird that way, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the plot, I loved the storyline, and I forgot how much I liked it. I literally forgot everything, like the whole plot point, until afterwards when I got back into the book. I was just like, oh my god, I forgot about you. Oh, and you. Oh my god, and I loved you too. So I was really surprised, but then I came back in it and I really loved it. I really think it was an amazing book. The third one just was amazing. I think there's going to be like 5 books in the series. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to be here for a while. The next book comes out in 2026. We have a while. We have a long while to go. Anyways, guys, next book that I read, I decided to go more into the dark romance. I decided to read the whole Mindfuck series. I read The Risk, Sidetracked, All the Lies, and Pain All Red, all 4 of the books, and they were all really good. I don't remember them each at their own, but I'll just tell you guys the rating for each one, and then I'll talk about the series as a whole. So The Risk I gave 4 stars, Sidetracked I gave 4, All the Lies I gave 4.25, and Pain All Red I gave 4.5. So they were all in the, like, honestly, I think as a series as a whole, it's a 4 stars. It was 4.25. It was a really good series as a whole, and I really, like, honestly, it could just be read as one book. It is pretty much one book. But it's shortened into 4 smaller books, and I really enjoyed, like, the idea where it's, like, a serial killer falls in love with the FBI agent that is, like, solving the case about her. Because the serial killer is a girl, and then the FBI agent is the guy. It's Logan. It's about Logan and Lana Myers, and I love them. I love Lana Myers specifically. Like Logan, yes, but it's kind of like that. It kind of just reminds me Lopez and Wesley.
Wesley's a lawyer. We like Wesley.
Nah, we accept Wesley because we fear Lopez.
And that's just kind of the idea. Like, I just feel like that's the kind of, I feel like, relationship. I don't know how to explain it, but it just matches in my head, like Wesley and Lopez, and then it just kind of matches with Lana Myers and Logan. Obviously, in the Rookie, neither of them are serial killers or anything like that, but obviously here there is one. But this book was really interesting. I loved it, and I loved the idea. I loved the plot. I loved every single part of it. And the books were so short that I just each read them in a day. So then I finished the whole thing in 4 days, which was amazing. I'll tell you guys a secret. But I don't know how to explain it, but pretty much I just loved it, what I'm trying to say, guys. I loved every plot point. I had so much fun with the whole thing, and it was just a good book that didn't require too much brain power, and I loved that about it. But I loved everything about it, honestly. And also, it gave me 4 easy books to put in as I finished, so it got me to my reading goal also, which also always helps. Next, I decided, you know what, we gotta get back into the Magnolia Daisy Hates world, and so I decided to read Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home, and I am gonna plan in July to read Daisy Hates, the next one. So I just got back into this. I decided after those 4 super short books, we need to read a long one to compensate. And this book was so good. I read it literally in a day and a half. Like, what I love about these books is that they're so easy to read. Like, yes, they are thick. Yes, they have a lot of gossip, a lot of toxicity, but it's just so fun and it's so easy. Like, who doesn't love a little gossip in their books? And it just made so much sense to me, and I really love the story. Obviously, like, there were parts where I wanted to kill one character or kill another one. But I gotta say, I love Julian Hates, guys. I think a lot of people do, but I think some people like other characters more. But for me, Julian Hates is at the top currently, I think. I really, really love him. But if there's going to be a book about him, I will read about it. I will read it. But anyways, I love this book. It was a 4 stars though, even though I'm saying like, oh my god, I love it. But it's just because it was long, but it just, so much is condensed into it, but it, I don't know guys, my brain is fried. Like, I tell you guys this next month, two, like, all the videos I'm going to be talking about, like, I really loved it, but I rated it 3 stars. But no. Anyways guys, I was trying to say, Magnolia Park's Long Way Home was a really good book, and it was what I needed in the moment, but it didn't become a 5 star. I like it, but the toxicity reaches a limit at some point. That's why I'm reading like once a month one book, even though I skipped a few months of reading that series, but that's fine. Anyways, next book I read is Atmosphere, because I decided to finally read some Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, and I decided to start with this one, even though I feel like I should have started with one more of the classic favorites, because I just saw Jamie Foxx talking about it, and she's like, it's a 300-page book, but it's so much more than that, and like you really get to know all the characters. And so I was like, I feel like I need this. So I decided to read it, and it was also really good. I did cry a teeny tiny bit. You guys can go watch me cry in that video in The Wheel Chooses, so you guys can go watch that video if you want to see me cry about a tiny little bit about it. But I really like the story, and even though, yes, it's a book about astronauts, but it's much more than that. It's a story about love, it's a story about friendship, it's a story about family, burden, and like so much, and I just really loved it, and it was really, really good. And especially since it was short, it just, like, how she could condense so much into a 300-page book, I will never understand, but it was really, really good. Okay, next up, we have Daisy Jones and the Six. I decided to go to one of her classics, Daisy Jones and the Six. I really love this too. This kind of, it gave the vibes of The Favorites by Lane Fargo because of, like, the writing style, the interview parts. And this is pretty much, this whole book is, like, pretty much interview style, mainly. And you're like, this character says, yeah, I hated this person at the start, but this is how we were formed, and blah, blah, blah. So pretty much it's about the band called The Six, and then later, and this, like, kind of, not social acolyte, but, like, kind of, I guess, her parents are, like, kind of famous and, like, really, really rich, but they never paid attention to Daisy Jones. And so she started going to all these parties and stuff like that, but she was always had a great voice. And so later on we go through their whole life. And I really enjoyed this kind of idea. It was, like, I liked the plot, I liked how the writing flowed, and it just kind of connected us to them. Even though it was like just interview style, and it was more, like, you think it was more tell not show, but it was actually show not tell. Because I felt like they were showing us more than they were just telling us, yes, and I ate this for breakfast. No, I felt like it was also a show type. I gave it 4.25 stars, everything just made sense in this book, but I just didn't fully love it. But it was a really, really good book, and it was not long, which always helps. Next, I decided we are continuing series, and I decided to read A Light in the Flame. And I gave it 4.25 stars. This book, I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to read this, because of the Blood and Ash series, and also the Fire and Flesh series, because this is part of the Fire and Flesh series, like, they're interconnected series, and you're supposed to go between them, and stuff like that, and I feel like it's getting kind of long, honestly. I just want it to end, or maybe you could just read each series at your own time whenever, but they said better that it is to read 3, like, you start with reading 3 books about Blood and Ash, and then going to one Fire and Flesh, and then you go each one switching back and forth. But the thing is, it's just getting kind of lost. So I didn't feel like reading, honestly, the series at all, but I decided to read A Light in the Flame, just slowly continue it, because I was like, I'm in the mood for fantasy, and also I feel like I should be reading this series, so I decided to do that. And I enjoyed it. It was actually really good, and I enjoyed the plot, and I enjoyed how it continued. Obviously, there were points where I was just like, and I was like, oh my god, who the frick are you? I don't remember you. But the ending, she knows how to do the endings. And I want to go into the next book of that series, but I have to now go back to Blood and Ash, which also kind of ended in a cliffhanger, but I just don't remember the cliffhanger. Anyways, guys, next book I read, I decided to go for a memoir, and that is Everything I Know About Love. I am not reading it at all, so I'm just going to kind of tell you pretty much what it talks about, and then I'm going to talk about a bit about the writing. Oh, okay, but first of all, before we get into it, it's a book that I feel like you should read in your 20s. So it's pretty much like about Dolly Alderton's like personal life. She talks about like how she falls in love, finding a job, getting drunk, getting dumped, and trying it all, and friendship, obviously, all these kinds of things. And it's pretty much in her 20s. She's recounting her 20s from like 20 something to like 28, like I think 2021. to 28, and it talks about everything, and it's about bad dates, good friends, and realizing how you're enough for everything. And I really enjoyed it because, like, obviously, I feel like at the start, it was kind of like, everybody told me, like, you should do this, you need to do that, you need to blah, 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 and I kind of felt like it was kind of info dumping on me the first few chapters, but after you get through that, the writing just really starts flowing, and you enjoy it. There's recipes in there, there's everything, and it just makes a lot of sense, the story. I really enjoyed it. As a whole, the writing really flowed, which helps always to make the story, like, let us connect to her more. Okay. Next, we have the last two books I read today. First, we have We Were Liars. 1 star. I know, like, I have 5 stars in here, 4 stars. I think, yeah, no, 3 stars. And I just jumped down to a 1 star. This book was not good. I'll tell you guys, it's supposed to be a thriller, and it was actually nominated as the best young adult fiction. I did not like it. I did not feel connected to a single character. I did not feel connected to the plot. I did not feel anything towards anybody and everybody. Because I just felt like I honestly audiobooked it for most of the time and just turned it on in the background and yeah. But I didn't care about the plot at all. The writing just didn't make sense to me. It kind of felt childish and like just weird. And the metaphors I feel like didn't make sense to me. They were like, oh, and this happened to me. And I'm like, oh my god, really? And then later on, I searched up on Goodreads the reviews, and they're like, oh yeah, that part, that was a metaphor. But then this part was not a metaphor. And I'm just there like, these metaphors don't make sense to me. So honestly, this book was just a dead end. The only reason I finished it in one day was because it was short. And because I forced myself, I was like, oh my god, Ronnie, this is so short. It's like 240 pages. Just read it in a day. That's the only reason I read it. That's the only reason. And then I ended off actually on a good note. I read An Ember in the Ashes. It's not an amazing book. I don't think the series is going to be 5-star. But the story, the first book, at the start, it was kind of slow. I felt like I was like, I'm not really feeling it. But then afterwards, as I continued progressively reading, it started getting better. I started actually feeling connected. And the second half of the book, I was flying past it. I was just like, oh my god, ooh. And I was like, oh my god, I'm like 80%. Oh my god, I finished this. So yeah, the cliffhanger wasn't really a cliffhanger. The ending just did not round it out, obviously, but it didn't give me at the edge of my seat though, the ending. So that's why I just gave it a 4 stars, but it was a really, really good book, especially the second half. I'm going to be saying this forever. But yeah, anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We are talking about all 17 books of June. June had its highs like summer romance and its lows like We Were Liars. And it had its in-betweens, its goods, its bads. But in all, this month was really, really good, and I'm hoping that July will maybe be even in a better month. But all we can do is wait and see, and obviously you guys can go watch all my vlogs and all my videos, and we'll probably see how it goes the month of July. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below how many books you guys have read in the month of June, any books you want to read in July, and stuff like that. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!
Artlist.io